Hello to you, fellow being. Infinite Spiral here, and we're back again in Kerbal Space Program, of course. So, we managed to successfully do that double rescue mission last time. We got Val back from her moon orbit. I mean, she was in orbit from the moon to Kerbin, roughly. And we also saved someone else from orbit around Kerbin. I don't remember their name. I imagine they're here, yes? Andy, that's who we saved, okay. But today, I really want to upgrade my research and development lab. I don't want to return to the surface of the moon until we can actually collect a surface sample. And we cannot yet afford that. So, what we're going to do, real quick, I didn't notice on that previous moon exploration contract that part of the contract was to transmit or recover data from in space around the moon. I thought that was like a separate one for some reason, and yeah, the wires got crossed and I misunderstood. So, we do still need to get that in order to complete this contract and get a bunch of money, and at the same time, we can rescue somebody else from orbit around the moon for another very sizable payout. So, we are going to rescue Shelling, I don't know the pronunciation, Kerbin, from orbit of the moon. And in so doing, we will also gather science from orbit around the moon, and complete both contracts at once and get much monies, and from there we can then upgrade our research and development labs and do so much cooler and better things. So, let us get right to that. Now, our what the crap seriously for real to the moon spacecraft was certainly successful enough to complete this mission, but we also need to make some slight alterations to it. Number one, we're going to replace this parachute with the Probodobodine Octo, so that we can control it without a Kerbal, and then we'll leave this command pod empty in order to pick up the stranded Kerbal that is in orbit around the moon. That was number one, and number two is to go put these radial parachutes on in order to successfully recover this thing once we get back from the moon. So let's check the center of mass. It is right there. And that is where we shall place the parachutes. Like so. And that should do the trick. Now, that center of mass might be slightly off once those tanks are empty, but honestly, I think it'll be close enough. We don't need well, actually, we can take off the landing legs since they didn't do their job in the first place. And we can leave these lights on. That's not a big deal. Don't necessarily need to worry about that. And I think, other than that, we should be all set. Just gonna run over everything real quick and... What the crap seriously for real to the moon 2 is go. Lickety launching! This thing definitely has some stability issues. It's kinda rocking around like so, but once we drop that bottom stage, it is much better, although it does pull significantly towards those parachutes. Those are adding quite a bit of drag to that side. Oh, if we throttle up, that might be easier to counteract, since this center thruster is liquid and has gimbaling. But, okay, well, we're going to cut thrust, drop these solids, and fix everything. Maybe? Maybe not. We don't seem to have enough torque to do that job. So what if we rotate that way and then try pulling up instead of pushing down? Yes, that is much more effective. Jesus. Okay, well, that's an interesting trick. Oh, maybe this one doesn't have, we're gonna cut that. I think maybe this isn't the gimbaling engine. I thought we had put that on, but it looks like the larger funnel at the end there. I'm sure there's a proper term for that. I don't know what that is. The cup. Yeah. Anyway. Hello, Moon. We are coming to you Soon enough, we will have to orbit around once, but that won't be a problem, so let us get that orbit going. Yeah, those parachutes really give it a problem, but this stage will be gone soon, and then it'll be much more manageable. Hey, there we go. Okay, so we've got an orbit established with our periapsis above 70,000, above 80 actually. Now we are going to get ready for our moon burn. It's going to happen once we go basically all the way around the planet. We're doing it probably around here. Just a guess. Hey, damn it. Yeah, pretty damn close. 2 million. Push it forward, that's further. No, it's not. Okay. There it is. 68 kilometers. Very nice. 17, even nicer. Beautiful. So I can live with that, and that is a 1 minute 44 second burn. So let us warp to that maneuver. Can we warp to the maneuver, or... I guess not. We will just warp to there. Okay, so now we are at... Goddamn, what? Okay, well, we should be burning. We should be burning right now. Should have been burning even sooner. That's okay, though. We won't be too far off, I don't think. And we can correct it a little bit by burning towards the planet. That gives us a little bit faster delta V. Just a slight gravity assist, not a significant one. In fact, probably so insignificant as to be nearly non-existent. But yeah, we're doing most of this maneuver after the node, which is improper technique. That is very poor indeed. But I think it'll work out mostly in our well, not in our favor, but it will work out in the end. It won't be so disastrously bad that things go bad, wrong, not good-ish. Good use of language. So I noticed in editing and watching previous videos that I use the word fantastic way too much. I'm like, hey, this thing's happening, and that's fantastic, and once we get there, this other thing will happen, and we landed great. That's fantastic. Everything's fantastic. Fantastic. So I'm going to make an effort to use some different adjectives for things that are good. Hopefully I remember to do so. Okay, so we will keep on burning. Just prograde until that gets... Oh. Okay, well that's interesting. Let's burn at the maneuver node, see if that helps. Probably not. No, so what's going on here? Right now we are just not burning far enough, or we're too far away from the moon when we get to our encounter, it looks like. Yeah, let's drop this node, that's making things worse. Keep burning prograde. And we've lost it. Okay, so we will plan another maneuver and just see what effect that has. It looks like our inclination is the problem, so what we're going to do is get rid of this maneuver, set the moon as target, and at the descending node, we will alter that in the normal direction. Yes, I have learned. The north, well, no, I didn't actually learn. I looked it up and it wasn't specific, but I'm assuming that the up arrow is normal and the down arrow is anti-normal. So that puts us at 0 degrees, which is good. Which is good and not fantastic. And prograde puts us, yes, on a near collision course, it would appear. That's what we want. Okay, so we shall now A 1 second burn. Yeah, I knew we were close. So we're going to line up on that maneuver node, warp to the maneuver, and proceed from there. Okay, and now we are going to time warp manually up until there. Full burn, kill it. That was beautiful. I killed it 0.1 meter per second off. So now we have a periapsis at 23 kilometers. Beautiful. Lovely. Let's get over there. How's our fuel? Not great. So I threw another fuel tank on this. Actually, let's not manually time warp. That's a bad idea. Let us warp to the encounter. But yeah, I threw another fuel tank on this top stage, and it kind of seems like that might have been a mistake. It might have actually thrown our thrust to weight ratio off in a bad way. It might have been better to actually take a fuel tank off, just because the smaller the rocket, the less mass there is to push. So it might have been the wrong way to go. We will find out. Oh, actually, it would have been better with a higher apoapsis. Well, we can alter that once we get the periapsis, or would it be more efficient to push it out from here? I think it wouldn't be. I think if we did the radial out burn, right there, that's a 6 second burn to get to that, and then a second one here to get the circular orbit. That is, I can't see what kind of a burn that's going to be. So let's see, if we delete this, does that change our delta V readout? So that's 83.3, 83.3. So no, it doesn't. Doesn't look like there's a way to get a preview of what your second maneuver is going to be in terms of what it's going to cost. But that one is 83.3. We'll delete it. And this one, with just the orbit getting established, is 166. So that's likely close to the amount that the other one would be, although it would be less than that, I think. And we would need a second one to recircularize, which would be similar to this. So I think, yeah, I think the way that we did it the first time, I think a radial out burn, which is the skyward direction. I finally learned those terms as well. So we are going to, I just want to check what this actually looks like here. I can't tell if we should be in the moon's sphere of influence. Okay, yes. So this would be radial out. It's just not telling me that because the moon is our target. So what we're going to do, oh, wait a minute. It wouldn't be directly away from the moon. It would be 90 degrees opposed. We should be using these nodes that they're showing us. That's radial in, wrong way. Okay, so this is the radial out symbol, and we will point directly at it and burn to bring that periapsis out to the target orbit. Like so. Okay. That puts us just outside of it. So now at the periapsis, we will do that retro burn, get an orbit. Let's try and actually keep the entire thing outside of his orbit, just to keep them, not in sync with each other. And that's looking like a 20-second burn. Ooh, that is not quite what I had expected. Maybe it would have been more effective to do it the other way. Oh well, you live, you learn. Oh god, we're orbiting the wrong way. Oh no! I didn't notice he's going around clockwise. We're coming in counterclockwise. Shit. Well then. We're going to be passing each other at 500 meters per second. I mean, we could probably deal with that. No, that's a difference of 1,000. Okay, well, we still need to get our orbit, because otherwise we're just going to zoom out of the influence of the moon, and that would be hideous. So let's go ahead and get our orbit established. God damn it. So if we had known that in advance, we would have approached the moon differently, so that we were coming in from this direction, and then happened... It would have been a completely different mission. God damn it, that's so dumb. That's my own fault for not looking first. I just made an assumption, and that assumption was wrong. But now that we've got that established, we're going to come out to this outer apoapsis, add a maneuver, and we're basically just going to reverse our our orbit entirely. Oh, what's going on there? Delete these. We want the maneuver here. Good. That's what we're looking for. This is fucking hideous. So we have to burn normal and retro and just keep futzing with it. And then pro, no. And then ground, and then no. It gets so ugly when you're making extreme changes like this. It just doesn't work. There's too much delta V involved. Cancel that. Alright, well, what we can do is warp out to our apoapsis. We may end up having to cancel this mission, because I'm not really sure that we have the fuel to do this effectively. But we are basically going to change to a polar orbit and then revert it back to a non-polar orbit into a reverse equatorial orbit. That is not a fun thing to do. Okay, so we need to point not south but north. So we will continue around. And we are draining electricity because we're on the dark side of the moon, the satellite. I realized when I was around the moon last time, I said something about the celestial body in question and referred to it as a planet, and that was a mistake. It is not a planet, it's a moon. So, here we go. Rotating the orbit and just following the normal direction as it rotates around the globe. Is a moon a globe? Can you call it that? I don't think that's inappropriate. Fuel is draining. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. So we've got our polar orbit. We'll just keep doing this. And we're doing this at a relatively low thrust. So it probably would have been more efficient to skip this whole transition of, you know, following the normal direction the whole time and just found... I mean, basically we just had to reverse our fucking orbit. We had to burn retrograde and negate our full orbital speed and apply it in the opposite direction. So it was roughly 1,000 delta V that we were applying, but this might have been more efficient. I'm not really certain, because I dropped the maneuver node, so I couldn't track any of that. But this definitely seems to be working, so I'm at least pleased with that. Yes, because we are approaching the apoapsis and traveling in the opposite direction. So let's set him as our target and watch our descending node until it... There, okay, just passed. So we're going to have to... Well, first of all, we're going to burn prograde and fix that periapsis, because it is too far in. Oh man, we might be boned. We might be boned entirely. So tiny little amount of thrust to bring that out. 447 to 440 something, 442. Looks good. Now, when we get to the descending node over here, excuse me, the ascending node over there. I forgot we're going the opposite direction. It's counterintuitive. But let us find the anti-normal node and point at that, like so. Okay, and that was too much even. Doom. So we'll actually fix that real quick like by wasting a bit more fuel. 0.1. It's good enough. So now we've pretty much matched his inclination. When we get to periapsis, we'll burn retro, get the apoapsis down, although let's see, we've got 2 encounters. Kind of looks like we have an encounter at a second... Oh, never mind. Our second intersection is there, which puts us way out here. So, yeah. Oh, no. That puts us here when he's here. Yeah, we definitely have to match his orbit more effectively, or go around a whole lot of times until these match up more closely. But that would be time-consuming, and honestly, this whole thing is just kind of a waste, because we probably can't get back to Kerbin, even with the fuel that we have. I know one way to find that out, and that way would be to quick save right here. And we're going to warp to this opposite side of the moon, and when we get here, we'll be traveling in that direction, and we will just do a straight prograde burn. Right there. That's a 25-second burn. I don't think we have that. We might have that. And that puts us... That actually does put us on a Kerbal return trip. Well, shit. Alright. Yeah, we did our quick save here. I am going to come test this out real quick. And depending on the results of that, we may load our save and finish the mission, or we might scrap it and relaunch to get the right thing, to get the right orbit from the start. Okay, we do seem to have enough to actually get back to Kerbin. Yep, okay, and we still have 30 and 40, so I think we can do it. I think we can. Let's, okay, so 508 meters per second. Let's burn the rest of this and find out just how much delta V that works out to. So 508.8. Quite a bit, actually. Quite a bit. So 508 to 868. So that is 360 meters per second of delta V, which means that we can definitely finish this mission with this ship, because it's only going to be, 260 or so to get that orbit fixed. So let's get our quick load. Science! That's what that was. Science in action. Okay, so after making all of this effort and reversing our orbit and all of that good stuff, I have now come to notice this mission was absolutely doomed from the start. I have my mic set up in such a way that I couldn't see down in this corner. And hello, Jeb is there. This has been a manned flight the entire time, which means that this cockpit is not empty. This has been almost a total waste, so we're going to go ahead and take some science here, just to, try and salvage a little bit of the mission, but holy shit. So, materials study high in space over the moon, high radiation, glowing samples, paint the rocket, blah, blah, blah. We've seen that before. Take some mystery goo. Take another well, no. Yeah, we'll take another mystery goo. Why the fuck not? Grab that, take a crew report. Yep, take an EVA report. 16 science, yes, okay. Get back in. Can we take the temperature here? Yes, we can. Measuring the temperature of space appears to be quite impossible, as there's no matter around to be either hot or cold, except the spacecraft and the thermometer itself. This is probably going to give the R&D guys something to think about for a while. Yes, I would imagine so. Because I wasn't even sure we could take the measurement, because, as they just said, temperature of space is sort of non-existent. There is no temperature of space. Only matter has temperature. Anywho, so that's done. Let us skip all of this stuff futzing around trying to save him, since that's just an absolute impossibility, unless of course we wanted to switch Jeb and Sheeling and just have Jed be stuck in orbit forever until we send another rescue mission, which, you know, we could do, but I don't know what would really be gained from that aside from finishing a contract. Well, finishing a contract is nice. I'd rather not strand Jeb. He's not immortal anymore. There's no reason to treat him any differently. And besides, I called him Jed. Jeb's a badass. Anyway, so we'll warp out here, return to Kerbin with a prograde burn, bring that periapsis down to basically the start of atmosphere, and we'll do an aero capture. We'll attempt that at least. So, like that. Okay, that brings us into 50 kilometers. And we're basically just going to time warp and get captured. And, oh, we did that thing that happens sometimes when you time warp through the section where you're not supposed to be able to time warp anymore. And we went through atmosphere and basically warped directly through the planet in a way. Everything's fine, no problems, but that's something to be aware of. If you are time warping manually, you can sort of royally screw things. So what we're going to do is, at the apoapsis, we don't need to plan it, we just need to get there. Like so. And do a slight prograde burn. We've got plenty of fuel to do that with. We just need to bring our orbit back up outside of the planet. We need to slow down quite a bit before we can safely re-enter atmosphere. Okay. That was even a little bit too much, but we can deal with that. That's no problem. Damn it. Manual time warp. There's too much of a difference between 10,000 and 1 million. Or 100,000 or whatever it is that they arbitrarily chose. Okay, so now that we're here, we are going to just retro burn, except in the direction of the horizon. Just to bring that down, save us some time and effort. And that, you know, the periapsis is also coming down because of where we are and where we're doing this. Okay, so that's at 43. I'm going to let the atmosphere do as much of that work from there as we can. Hello, Kerbin. We're back. And this is going to take longer for me than it will for you because I'm limited to my time warping abilities. But we'll leave it on the map screen and watch this get pulled down just by atmospheric braking. Atmo! Aero braking. Atmo braking. Atmo capture. Atmospheric capture. Aero capture. I am saying lots of words for no reason. Ignore me. Ignore me! Alright, above 70 kilometers, we can again use the accelerated time warp. We're not stuck with the physics warp, which is what the Kerbin time warp is. It's a physics warp, which causes strange things to happen, as has been seen in previous episodes. Things like ships bending out of shape but not exploding, and weird other things of that nature. So let's keep an eye on this periapsis, because if it gets too low, then we're going to enter the atmosphere and have to be out of the physics warp, lest the atmosphere destroy us entirely. But apoapsis is coming down nicely, and we've passed periapsis already. So we're just going to keep doing this over and over again. Alright, so this should be our final pass as we enter the atmosphere. The aero braking will be enough to bring our apoapsis down, and we will be stuck in atmosphere for the rest of the orbit, and we still have a tiny bit of fuel for killing off some of this orbital velocity. And that might be absolutely necessary. We've already engaged our parachutes. We did that sort of a long time ago. I don't know if you can actually manually deploy them. I think it might be possible, but I am afraid to mess with that. I will just instead rely on their manual settings. Alright, we have entered the burning phase of re-entry, and our periapsis is already gone. Okay, so this is our final approach, and as we get into thicker and thicker atmosphere, we are going to use the fuel in our engine just to kill off some of this extra burn that we're going to be getting, because we don't want everything to explode. That would be unpleasant. I know we've had some very lucky re-entries before, but I don't think I can guarantee those sorts of results every time. And it might be a bad idea to try and count on that. So we're going to keep pointing straight at the retrograde, just to get this engine absorbing as much of the heat as possible. I mean, the engines are sort of designed to get hot, you know? They sort of expel massive amounts of heat in the burning process, I should expect. And we're going to start the burn with a very low throttle. And throttle up as we get more and more hot. And we're going to run out of fuel very soon. More and more. Throttle. And here goes the fuel. Soon? Yes, now. Okay. Oh god, there go the chutes. Beautiful. Excellent. No disaster. No explosions, nothing popping off. Everything as it should be. Apparently that was perfectly timed. So we ran out of fuel just before the parachutes deployed. So, let us get to the ground, shall we? And yeah, this the center of mass is definitely higher up when the fuel tanks are empty. I had a feeling that might be the case, but we failed to account for it quite as much as would have been necessary. Alas. Let's get this thing to the ground, get Jeb out of there, and do this mission over again the right way. For fuck's sake. Could have saved so much effort just by doing it right, but we will at least get one of these contracts done. And you know what? I think we're going to save that rescue mission for our next return to the moon, because we will have enough money after finishing this contract to actually upgrade our research and development building. And that will enable us to take surface samples, which means we need to get our asses back to the moon and plant a flag and do some good stuff like that. Yes, planting flags is important. Provided that we, have space for the plant the flag mission, or contract rather, because, why would we plant a flag without getting a massive amount of money for it? I mean, yeah, for pride, I guess. For vanity. Boy, this descent sure does take a long time, even at 4 times warp speed. But I guess that's just the price you pay when you use radial parachutes for a re-entry. Dangled. Just turn this thing into a pendulum. A lopsided pendulum, yes. Alright, let's stop fucking around. Stop fucking about. Quit fucking about. Feckin' about. Fucking a boot. I'm not Canadian, and it sounds like fucking a boot would be gross. I think fucking a boot would be... yeah, let's not talk about that. Never mind. We definitely have enough parachutes, though. 3.3 meters per second, yes. And decreasing. Alright. We're just gonna keep on pulling up as much as we can. And hopefully, touchdown, safe. Oh, nice. these parachutes actually stay attached until the whole thing is in the water. I like that. So we don't need those lights on anymore. Didn't need them on ever, really, but we wanted it anyway. So recover vessel. Hey, recover vessel. Okay, 132 science earned. That's nice. Contract completed, which is also super duper nice. And we have money to spend. We have funds aplenty. Let's recover this wreckage, or debris. All this crap we left behind, which is just the stability enhancers left on the launch pad. Warp to daytime, and just double check. Contract completed, indeed. So, we are going to do all of that stuff that I talked about. Okay, so in our next episode, we will be returning to the moon. We'll be rescuing, what's her name again? Sheeling. We will be rescuing Sheeling Kerbin, or Shelling Kerbin. Kermin, not Kerbin. Sheeling Kermin from orbit around the moon. We will be upgrading our research and development. We will be spending some science. We may even build a new ship, but probably not. No, we absolutely will. We absolutely will. But we will have to get to that in the next episode. So, I hope to see you there. If you enjoyed what you saw, go ahead and leave a like. If you'd like to keep seeing more, go ahead and subscribe. Take care now. Bye-bye.